MOVI is more than a group, it's an institution that promotes human-scale wine, high-quality wines, show to the world wines with passion. But all that is unique because when we talk about the group, we talk about MOVI. We never talk about one or two specific projects. We talk about associativity, only one target, only one commitment to improve the image of the Chilean wine.
Our organization nowadays is configured by the 18 members. Everybody is connecting to the wines, to the grapes, to the process, to the sailing, to the marketing, to everything.
Before MOVI exists, you know, in general, the wine press and the wine lover, they believe that Chile is just the big companies that, you know, and it's kind of boring in some way. But when the MOVI show up, people start to understand, oh, you know, there is more exciting things happening in Chile.
More than a few years ago, the industry in Chile realized that they were capable of making wines that were much more than cheap and cheerful. Chile is capable of making some incredible wines. Obviously, the smaller, the more lithe, the more agile, independent producers like MOVI members are capable of moving more quickly in that direction.
We really share the concept to promote MOVI and promote the wines made it in a human scale and quality wines. I think MOVI is a very good expression about what we think in our life and in our business.
Being a MOVI member has given us the opportunity to show our wines to the rest of the world. Especially those opportunities to get to important people in the wine business, in the wine magazines. It would be very difficult to get to Wine Spectator, Robert Parker, if we are small producers from Chile.
To be part of MOVI is a commercial benefit that we never think about, but when a lot of people is writing about you and is making a review or scoring your wine, finally the importer start to knock your door because you are part of this group and they read the publications. We are really happy because, for example, in the last two editions of Wine Advocate, we get the two best wines of Chile.
One of the things MOVI's always insisted upon is trying to be open to the industry. We've tasted with critics alternative wines in these years from Chile, and we've never just taken the MOVI wines. We've always made an open invitation to small producers, inside MOVI, outside MOVI. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're costing this out. Everyone pays their part. Come with us, bring your wines, and let's taste with Parker's people, or let's taste with so-and-so in England or the US. It's that openness, it's that inclusiveness that has given us credibility in front of certain journalists or certain magazines in the world. They like to be able to taste that way. There's the lumber truck, ruining the road, not paying their share. The interesting aspect of Plowman Farm is that these are wines that were lost. They were made into jug wine for decades and decades. And now we're making fine wine out of the same grapes, the same vineyard, that have been retrained and repurposed towards making fine wine for export. The roots are 100 years old, and the plants have changed genetic material from the soil up 3 years ago. Working with the same family, working with the same methods of plowing by horse, turning the earth over in the wintertime to keep the moisture in the soil and then packing it in so it makes it through a long, hot Maule summer. So in an old vineyard like this, people say, well, how old is the vineyard? And you could say, well, some of these plants are 100 years old. Others are 5.
When we talk about diversity, we have wines from the north of Chile, from Atacama Desert to the south, to Itata. But also we have a diversity in styles. When we talk about personality, you will see that each wine of each project is the expression of a person that really believes and is really passionate about the wine.
At MOVI, you've got people, little people, you know, like us, who all have personality and who all try to do something along what they believe in. And that, I think that's great.
MOVI nos ha beneficiado a nosotros en el sentido de poder mostrarlo no solamente a Chile, al mundo. Nuestra localidad, estamos aquí en el Maule, lo que es Caliboro, y en un lugar donde se vive la costumbre, la artesanía, se vive un poco la pasión por el vino, familias de tradición que se han mantenido, un entorno muy natural en la cual estamos en la ribera norte del río Perquilauquén, que en cierto modo tiene sus beneficios para nuestro tipo de viticultura colonial que tenemos acá.
The good enology, good grapes, they are in all of this country. You're going to Limari, you're going to Mulchen, there are nice wine, nice grapes, and there are special enology, very good. But the difference is in the people who produce the wine, who put the face in the bottle, not in the label, puts the face in front of the bottle.
I think we are one of the great examples for MOVI. We are members, we are a founder of MOVI, and I think we are a good example because we are a family. This is a lifestyle. We live in the farm. I mean, we feel with a lot of passion what we are doing, and the wine that we produce because we like it.
I think MOVI helps the country to show something related to people and more in a human scale. So, and I think you in each country, you need to have both. You need to have the big industry, but also you need to have the people that is working with the soul. So MOVI, I think, helps all the small wineries that they are members, and also helps the industry to show that Chile has a soul related to the wine.
People say that for produce a good wine, you need a good grape. But actually, it's not true. I mean, the real truth is for produce a good wine, you need to have a good people. That's the basic thing. It's the energy that you put it together. So when you make wine, it's very important you transfer this positive and nice energy into the wine, because at the end of the day, people will capture this energy when they drink the wine. I will say that the wine that we produce is, we can say, is over-deliver. There is more quality into the bottle for the price that normally we sell it. I mean, and that is a thing that we need to show to the rest of the world. They need to understand when they come into Chile and taste some of the wine from Maule. I mean, they will discover, I mean, unbelievable quality there for the price.
In a small way, MOVI should take credit for inspiring the younger generation, even older generations perhaps, in having more confidence to take more risks and to do new things. There's certainly plantings in new valleys, there's certainly retraining old vines, certainly change in the industry that I think the idea that someone small can do it helps everyone get off their rears and move a little quicker towards where we could be going.
Here, I mean, you know, everybody does the work, you know, us. We might be the owners, but we're also the workers. And you have to make it, you have to sell it, and if you don't sell it, you'll have to drink it, and that's a bit too much, you know.
This is a vineyard that is planted at 1 meter 10 by 1 meter 10 in bush vines. The idea is to have a high density of plants per hectare so each plant can compete with the other ones, so it stresses itself and gives less amounts of grapes per plant. So it gives a higher concentration for the wine at the end.
One of the founding members once said that he wanted to move from the safe zone to the risky zone, because Chile has been so long in this, you know, so-called safe zone. Can you imagine that somebody leaves Brazil with the sunshine, the beaches, a really beautiful department in a big city, and then moves to Casablanca in the countryside, and now lives in a container house. This is absolutely risky.
Pinot Noir was just nothing before in this country, and a few people like us started planting Pinot Noir because we believed. We said, the climate's right, the soil is good, we can make some good Pinot Noir. We don't want to copy somebody else, we just want to take opportunity of the climate that we've got and the terroir that we've got so that we can make something good.
We have planted vines where nobody really believed you could plant them before, where it gets very cool in the evenings and frost is a big risk for us. This year was a perfect example. For me, the risk zone is where you're most creative, where you're always trying, where you're always leaning forward, and that's something that we do. For me at Kingston, we share space in our winery with other winemakers, and many of whom are MOVI members. I love that. There's collaboration, whether it's on the cellar floor, talking about fermentation, whether it's in the vineyard, swapping notes about when you're going to pick. It's really all about sharing notes, about learning from each other and sharing that process. And that, for me, is the most exciting thing about MOVI.
At the beginning, many wineries or wine organizations perceived MOVI like a threat because nobody understood what this group of people wanted to do. They start to use black t-shirts, they use rock and roll in the presentations. Finally, with the time, all the people understood that we are working to improve the image of the Chilean wines. And today we are working with the government, with Wines of Chile, with many institutions that they have the same point of view that us.
I think as the world moves faster, we have more and more progress, and some of us get a little older, we start to look for things that help us identify with that world we live in. And the idea that artisanal things become more important, I think is not unique to Chile. In the end, it's the markets where Chile wants to sell its wines around the world. We are looking for things like wine, like food, like trips and experiences that make life more interesting. And I think in some way MOVI answers that call of what the world is looking for in wine today.
Nombre nunca lo puse porque cancelado vivo.
Go, 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 go. Puede irte.
Sorry, I missed it.
Bien.
Bravo! Fantástico.
For my mother, he sent me in the TV.